Now, you wouldn't believe that was recorded in lockdown, in separate areas, and then sewn together beautifully to get that amazing sound. And the lady doing the vocals on that is lovely Caz. She's here right now on the old Dog and Bone, well, on the Zoom, in the studio. Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, and you?
Oh, I'm coughing up a lung, but don't worry about me. It's all about you this morning, darling. Welcome to Mid Morning Madness here on Delux Radio. I'm looking at you bathed in a pool of different lighting. It's actually quite hypnotic.
Well, you know why? I'm in my recording studio, and this is where I write all the songs and record them.
Yeah.
So when I'm writing, I like to have ambience. I like to be in that in the zone, as they say. And when I put all my ambient lighting on, I'm in the zone, and it helps me to be creative.
That's lovely. Everybody needs a method for creating, and that is an unusual one. That's good.
I mean, it's better than writing in the car. Normally I write in the car, I'm driving along, stuck in traffic, and an idea will come in my head.
Yeah.
And lyrical content is always not that good when I'm stuck in traffic.
No, there's a lot of aggression in that one, is there? Exactly.
So then I get home and I continue writing that song that started in the car in traffic.
Yeah.
And I change lyrics.
Well, that's how Jive Talking came along, didn't it? By the Bee Gees,
yeah.
When they were going across the bridge and they got that as the car was going across the metal.
Funny, but yeah, it is the car. I mean, most times it's in the car. The other thing that my other half finds so annoying is when we go to bed. Right, we're in bed.
He finds it annoying going to bed.
Yeah, it is annoying because what I do is not every night, but a lot of nights I lie in bed and I can't sleep. He wants to get to sleep because he's got to get off for work in the morning. And I start thinking of a song. Oh. So I don't hum it out because that would really, wind him up. But I tap on my body, like tap the rhythm. And I've got going, goes, "You're writing a song?" I said, "How do you know?" He said, he just knows. Once I start tapping, he knows. Oh. And he goes, "You leave it till the morning. I need to go to sleep."
Can't you then go down to the studio and lay something down, get it out of your system?
I'll get out of bed. I get out of bed, and the idea in my head, I sing into my mobile phone, into your voice memos.
Yeah,
I sing it so that I won't forget it the next morning.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of the old having a little tape recorder with you.
Absolutely. I love my voice. If you went on and looked at my phone and looked at the voice memos, there's got to be 1,000 voice memos of just like half a minute of something.
Oh, wow. That is completely brilliant. That's inspiring. That is. I've got to be honest with you. That is really inspiring. Now, you say you write. The first Klassics album was all covers. You're now starting to write original stuff for the Klassics, which is what we're playing. We're playing "Missing You" on this station because it's a great tune. And you wrote that. Is it just you, or do the band get together and put other ideas into the writing process?
I write the song. I sit at the piano and I completely write the song, melody and lyrics.
Right.
When it comes to the studio equipment, I'm absolutely useless.
Okay, you've got to be good at something, and you've got to be bad at something. So,
well, I'm useless, and so what happens is I finish the song in my head, I sing it all in total into the voice memos, another voice memo on the phone, and then David Stevens, my other half, he's a brilliant record producer. He's amazing, and he's a great engineer and everything. So then I go, right, here it is, do your stuff. And he does it.
Nice.
And then an idea for the style, we'll discuss it. He'll then call the guys, the drummer, the bass player, whatever, and he'll send it to them and they put their part down in their studio and they send it back and then Dave puts it all together. But some of the new stuff we're doing, it's not always going to be live. Like we might use the drummer if he's available. It depends when they're available. See, lockdown was easy.
Yeah, cool. Everybody didn't go anywhere.
Yes, that's it. And David had the idea of the Klassics covers album of great soul songs long before lockdown happened. And what happened was, every time we spoke to the guys, I mean, all these guys are the top session musicians in the country, in the world, but they were always working, touring, in a studio, couldn't do it. Then lockdown happened. And then one conversation on the telephone, it was like, well, yeah, we're free now, but we can't come to the studio. So thank God they've all got their own home studios.
Which is brilliant.
And that's all did the album.
Superb.
You know?
And
all through.
it was a great album, and we got that wonderful single when you get right down to it. I mean, I did listen to the Delphonics, and I meant what I said. I think your version surpasses the Delphonics version. The Delphonics stinks of 70s. There's nothing wrong with that if you love your 70s music. But it stinks of 70s. Your version's sort of 21st centuryized, if there's such a word, if you know what I mean.
David, that's 100% down to David, because he's the one that produced it and used the instrumentation that he wanted. He arranged it. He does all the arrangements, and that I have to give him the credit for that. I just sang it.
Well, you did a great job. There's no denying that. So what is your track record? Are you a soul girl at heart, or do you just sing? What's put in front of you, or are you picky and choosy what you do?
Well, let me go back a long time. I started off writing songs when I was like 12, and I was very lucky that I had my first record deal when I was 12 years of age.
Wow.
And it was the first independent record label, which was Major Minor Records. Phil and Dorothy Stevens.
How did I know you were going to say Major Minor? Something in my head just said she's going to say Major Minor Records. There was a lot of bands came out on Major Minor Records,
and they didn't record an original, but Les Reed wrote a song for me.
Yeah,
great, Les, and a lovely man. And at the time, it was they actually. I mean, a few years back, they said, "Oh, indie labels," but people forget that Major Minor were the first independent label.
Yeah.
Way back in the 60s.
Yeah.
They were
Joe Meek even put a few tracks out on Major Minor, didn't he?
That's quite right. And at the time when they signed me, they'd just started and they only had 3 artists. They signed 3 artists. One was me. The other one was Johnny Nash.
Yeah.
And Tom Jones.
Wow.
We were 3 artists. And then from there, I then got another record deal when I was 15 with Decca. I've always had record deals, but all I wanted to do really was write and sing.
Yeah.
You know, sing what I wanted to sing and write what I wanted to write. So I then met, I mean, you've asked my track record, I'll give it to you. I then was booked to do a session for Simon May.
Yep.
I was like 16 at the time. He liked my voice. He'd heard me singing somewhere. And he asked me to come and do a session backing Stephanie de Sykes. And on this session, I met the most wonderful person that I'm still friends with now, a session singer called Miriam Stockley.
Yeah.
A Jewish South African girl. And we met. She was older than me, about 8 years older than me. And she just loved me and I loved her. We become great friends. And she said, look, I want to tell you something. You're a great singer. Right? She said, you've got to learn to sight read. I said, I read music. She said, reading music for piano and guitar is totally different to sight reading for singing.
Yeah.
It's a completely different ballgame. She said, if you go away and learn to sight read, I'm going to give you this name of this American teacher who lived in Manor House.
Right.
She said, let me know when you've done it and you will get loads of session work. So I did. I went to this woman. You know what sight reading is. When a singer gets given the piece of music and can pitch every note and sing it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the words are there and the music's underneath it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, excuse me, I've got to just take a drink of coffee.
Go on, have a slurp.
Anyway, I did that and the rest really was history. After that, I did loads of session work with Miriam. We went all over Europe. We was backing loads of artists, being big people, you know, like Glenn Campbell, Willie Nelson. I mean, Tammy Wynette, Steve Harley, Courtney Rebel. We just did it all.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know what, I'm neglecting my writing. I really am. So I started writing again. And one of my songs I wrote was a single for a Canadian singer called Diane Solomons.
Heard of her, yeah.
Yeah. So she released a single and then just went on from there. I just continued writing. I ended up being signed to ATV Music, then Warner Chappell's, and I just continued writing. I love it. I mean, I actually prefer writing to singing, funny enough.
Do you find it cathartic to sit and write?
Maybe.
Does it?
Maybe.
Does it give you some kind of peace in the brain to write, or is it you just love to make music?
I'm a very creative person, you know, and when you are creative, I mean, creative in the field of the arts. So I also paint. I love painting.
Oh wow!
And I paint.
We got a hallway needs doing. If you want to come over.
Not that sort of painting.
Sorry, darling. I thought I'd found another painter. Never mind.
I can give you a number for someone though. But I love art. And when I was actually 16, I actually had an exhibition of my artwork.
Oh wow!
Some place in Epping. I forget the name of it. I was very young. But apart from sort of that, I write as well. I write books. I've had a published book out called The Road to Seville. You can buy it on Amazon.
No, I didn't know that.
It's fiction, and it's a good book, and it's on Amazon. The Road to Seville.
Oh, okay. We'll check that out. The Road to Seville. Is it as Caz Stevens?
It's Caroline Stevens.
Oh, Caroline Stevens, lovely. Oh, that's a bit more posh than Caz, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, you know, to be an author, you have to have a posh name.
Oh yes, what? Now I'm gonna hit you with a question. Did your brother help you in any way, or did he just go, get on with it, girl, monster?
What can I say? No, he didn't help me.
So you've got this all on your own fruition. Nobody has gone, well, you had a leg up.
I tell you what he helped me with. He helped me get my first record deal with Major Minor Records.
Oh, that's a helping hand. There's nothing wrong with that.
That started it all off.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just flew by myself. I didn't want to. I loved my brother. You know that very much. We were very close.
Your brother being Eric Hall, because we haven't mentioned him. God rest his sweet soul. Your brother being Eric Hall, who was a huge agent in the music business and in the football world as well, wasn't he?
Absolutely. He was. He actually was head of Rocket Records. He was head of EMI.
Yeah.
Head of EMI, and then he got headhunted by Elton John when Elton started Rocket Records.
Yeah.
And Rocket Records. He was very successful, but he was a great human being. He was a very good family man. He adored his mum and dad. He adored his family, and we were very close. But I got to a point when I was like a teenager where he was also looking for artists and songs and things that weren't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I decided as a teenager at a very young age that I need to prove myself.
As you do. Which is the best, I think, the best way to be.
Yeah, and sometimes, to be honest with you, Ian, it was a disadvantage because I'd go to auditions and stuff, and if I'd mentioned or someone knew, oh, that's Eric Paul's sister, it was like, oh, she's probably no good. He's only put her here. He's got her in this. It was all that, you know?
Yeah, that does have its downside, I suppose, yeah.
So it got to a point where I didn't even mention that he was my brother. We were related. I never knew him. You know, I wanted to do and get on my own merit.
Yeah, bless him.
But that's how I did what I did. And anyway, it's...
Do you know what? Even in his old age, bless him, I did a gig where he was living in Woodford.
Yeah.
And... the place was rammed with people that day. I don't know how, I don't know why, because I used to I do these little afternoons at sheltered housing and old people's clubs, and he was there, and he said, "Why don't you sing this? Why don't you sing that? That'll suit you. That'll suit you." And I went, "Do you know what? I'm going to do it." And I did it there and then. And at least two of the songs that he told me to sing are still in my set today, thanks to him just turning around going, "Why don't you sing that? That'll suit you, boy.
Yeah,
that'll suit you."
He was a great music fan. But I tell you what, I saw a video of you singing something on Instagram, and it was, oh my God, let me think now. I'm a friendly stranger in the black sedan.
A vehicle.
I love that song.
I love that song as well. Do you know who did the backing track for that?
No.
I couldn't get the backing track. It's available now, but I couldn't get the backing track at the time. So Martin J did the backing track for me. And that whole thing, apart from my voice, is Martin J.
And what was the other song that they had? A big hit, and I love that as well.
I'm on Fire, Dr. Kiss Kiss.
Yeah.
They were the two big ones from Martin, and then he went into stringing songs together and doing those compilation tracks under the name Enigma, and then he went out. That was the name of his function band as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
So,
you can't be.
Oh no, you can't. You can't. It's just a shame he's retired because he's another great musician.
Exactly. But, you get to a point, I suppose, where, not everybody. I don't think as a writer that I could ever retire.
No, not as a writer. No, I've retired. I've retired as a DJ.
Yeah, singer, yeah, because I don't know if I could stand and do a 2-hour gig. I don't know if you know this, but a couple of years back I had an accident and broke my back.
Yeah.
And I couldn't walk for quite a while.
That does put a lot of strain on you, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. So with treatment, which I've been having now for a couple of years, and I've got to have more treatment. Unfortunately, the way the back repaired itself caused my spine to collapse.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a collapsing spine, basically, and I can only stand up for such a while and then have to sit down. So the touring bit maybe wouldn't be any good for me anymore.
That would affect if the Classics decided to go on the road. Then that would affect playing live.
Absolutely, but I could, as David says, you could sit on a stool.
Well, if it's good enough for Gwen Dickey, darling, it's good enough for you. And Gwen Dickey sat there, I saw it with Shalimar a few months ago, and she sat there. She had the audience in the palm of her hand, and she didn't miss a note. And it didn't matter that she was sitting down. Jocelyn Brown sits down now.
Yeah,
but people come flock to see her because of her voice, not the fact that she's going to stand up or sit down. So. Do you know what? David's right. If there's a stool, sit on it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what we're trying. Look, the Classics are not going to be pop stars.
No. But you all have been individually.
But we have been, individually. We've had our sort of time of fame. But it would be nice if the Classics, which we're actually in talks with somebody at the moment, could get a tour of some sort.
That'd be nice.
And I'm not going to say too much because we're still talking to someone about it, but a few gigs, people we could do, throw in a few originals, the covers from the album, and I honestly believe that there is an audience out there for that music.
Yeah, but you could get on a soul tour, so you do say 45 minutes. Which is great. A soul tour would be ideal because that is where your music sits in the soul genre, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
And even if I may say, supporting Lisa Stansfield, that would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, we could do that.
Because it's that kind of groove.
What I think we're going to do is we're going to try and organise an introduction gig for the Classics.
Even better.
In Priory Park in Southend.
Lovely.
So just to get us out there so everybody knows what we do, can hear what we do. We've got great musicians, as you know, Ian.
Yeah.
But again, now everybody's back to work. It's finding the date that we could all be together to rehearse and do the gig.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
But we're kind of planning that.
Good. Well, I think it will be absolutely amazing when it happens. I will be at the front row cheering you on. You know that. You
will be, for sure.
Oh, yes. And just keep the music coming. Don't stop with the music, girl. Don't you stop the music. Please keep the music coming. I'm going to play Missing You now because we've talked long enough. And
really, I could talk all day. You know me.
You could talk all day. I could talk all day. My show finishes at 12, and I've got these other features to get through. Listen, tell me, if I said to you, Caroline, darling, hit me with 2 Motown songs, what would they be?
Oh my God, Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Yeah. Which version?
Diana Ross.
Diana Ross. Yep.
And Marvin Gaye. I've got to say Marvin.
And
the other song.
Which one?
The Onion Song.
The Onion Song. That brings a tear to my eye. But
So, say one more, which I love.
Go on.
Up the Ladder to the Roof.
Played that yesterday. That was Jean Terrell's first foray out with the Supremes.
When I hear it, I want to dance around my house.
It is a good tune. But you have just picked today's Motown Twofer.
Thank you.
So we've got Ain't No Mountain High Enough and the Onion Song coming up in a minute. But first, to take us there, Caz and the boys. You're the only girl in the band, aren't you?
Well, we do have a girl session singer as well called Jane Hennessy.
Okay, Caz and the boys and the girls as the Klassics. And this is the self-penned song, Missing You. And it is such a good tune. Such a good tune. Thanks for coming on today. It's lovely to have you as a guest, always.
So much. Thank you.
You are more than welcome, darling. Ladies and gentlemen, the Klassics and Caz Stevens. Take care. Bye.